So the question, how do we reverse the Chinese Communist curse?
Yeah, well, and let me just add, you just set it up for a little bit more on the curse, just a couple data points. I was at a Middle Eastern news station the other day, and I said, what do you make of the 1 to 3 million Uyghurs, Western Chinese Turkics, in re-education camps where the re-education is from Islam to atheism, from God to no God? What do you make of the Tiananmen massacre occur? What do you make of the Tibetan movement? What do you make of Taiwan? What do you make of Hong Kong? What do you make of the protest? What do you make of the underground Christian church? What do you make of the underground Catholic church? This is in the millions and millions. So when you talk about the evil of the CCP, it runs the entire spectrum. And so how do you end it? I think you've got some good ideas, and I'm glad to share in them with you. But one way is you use your economic power, and you follow God and the truth. And you explain to the world what's going on. And luckily, I've seen polls all of a sudden on China that have just flipped tremendously in favor of the good in the 90% category, that the U.S. people are starting to see what's going on with China. And so we need to take our investment seriously and align our money with our ethics and align the walk with the talk, and look to our first principles, and only invest in firms and in countries that adhere at a minimum to individual rights under the law, right? That's the rock bottom formulation of our founders, right? We all believe that rights are inalienable. They come from God. It's the job of government to protect them. But we believe in individual rights under the law that have to be protected. If a country like China will not subscribe to that, they're not worthy of our funds. We need to design an investment portfolio, and I know you got plenty to share, and we're lucky to work with you at Liberty. And why don't you tell the folks about some plans we might have coming up?
Well, just as an example, one of the groups that we work with has exposed the thrift savings plan of the United States. And so we have government employees, we have retirees, we have veterans, we have active duty military. And China has so infiltrated our nation and our thought process that they thought it was a good idea to put money into Chinese companies that don't have the same accounting rules that we have, and maybe doing things, persecuting, for example, monitoring the Uyghur population in the concentration camps, maybe ties to the organ harvesting where they take live people, steal their organs. The atrocities of China. I mean, this is a nation that would tell a woman, hey, you're pregnant again, you have to have an abortion. Or you decide, do you want to keep this baby? Because it's a girl, so maybe you want a boy, so kill the girl and have a boy. I mean, a one-child policy, now it's a two-child policy. This is a nation that puts on you a social credit score that says whether or not you can get on an airplane, or whether or not you can buy a book at a bookstore, or whether you can dine out. They monitor all of their people using Western technology that they've usurped, stolen, or purchased with our money, and they're using it to control their people. So reversing the curse inside China means setting free the Chinese people. I mean, the church, the Christian church in China is so scary to them that they've been closing and demolishing buildings because they know that the Chinese people, once they're set free with the liberty of Christianity, would take over the country.
Yeah, no, that's right. And I just want to add to the rock bottom economic piece and the financial piece that we're talking about. There is a political piece. We're having this discussion right now in a period under President Trump where we can have this discussion and people can kind of follow through on the logic. Just by contrast, 10 years ago, we had one of the top 10 Chinese elites with intelligence beyond comprehension. One of his aides escaped to our embassy, U.S. Embassy. And guess who gave him back to China and gave up away the greatest asset we had? Joe Biden's office and Hillary Clinton. And Hillary Clinton in her book said, this will make China happy. So in addition to watching your own financial dollars and where they go, and watching the index funds that you just mentioned, and watching access into our financial markets,